Which path are you following? Are you following the path of your heart's desires, what feels good for you, or are you following the path that every other person is walking on? There was a quote, a phrase, and it said something along the line of, walk down the path that's less traveled by. And I've always done that in my life. And I believe that it's so much easier to walk down a path that is paved for you. Everyone else is doing this. I should be doing this. And we see this all the time, right? In diets, workout programs. Every single person is going down this path of keto and counting calories and, back in the day, 21-day fix and Beachbody and all the things. Like every single person's walking down that path, and it feels almost as if like you're the outlier if you're going down this other path that is less traveled by. Like maybe actually not many people go down that route. This path is paved. Every single person is on this path. It's busy. I should probably be going there. When you think about different even stores in, let's say, like a mall, right? If you see a store that has so many people in it, there's actually like a lineup at the front door. Like there's literally people standing at the door, and there's actually a lineup. You're like, whoa, like that, like your mind automatically associates that with that must be a good store. Everyone must love it. Like what's the hype about? I should be going in that store. That's the way that the brain works. And then if you see a store, no one's in it. Like every single time you walk by this store, no one's ever in it. Maybe you've seen like one person, but to the brain doesn't go like, oh, I need to go into that store. Like it must be amazing. You really don't think anything of that store. You're like, well, no one else is going in that store, so it must not be good. It must not be something that, a lot of people are hyped up about. But this is not about going down the path that most people travel. It is actually so brave, so courageous of you to go down the path that you actually want to go down, even if it's less traveled by. And I have so many examples of this. In 2018, every single person was tracking their macros. And so what do you think I did? I went down that path. And I remember feeling like this isn't for me. I remember feeling like I'm meant for more. I couldn't really explain it at the time. I'm like, this isn't for me. Like as much as I'm trying to do these calculations, it's literally stressing me out. Like it's not for me. And it felt really scary to say, well, I'm going to go down this path of intuitive eating. At the time, I didn't really know a lot of people that were doing intuitive eating. It was almost as if like that was a path. If you think like fresh snow, the path was completely paved with a million people going down this tracking macros route. And then the intuitive eating route, it's like I felt like I had to make the first steps. Like I had to be on that path. And obviously there was people eating intuitively at the time, but I didn't really know many people that were eating intuitively at that time. So it felt like I was like kind of like this outlier of like, you're the only person going to be going down this route. Like, are you sure? And when you lead the path, when you lead the way, when you walk the path that is least traveled by, it's easy to doubt yourself. It's easy to question yourself. It's easy to think, but am I making the right decision? Because everyone else is going down this path. But I started to not care about what path anyone else was on, because it actually doesn't matter. You know in your heart, in your soul, what feels best for you. And at the time, it felt the best for me to be like, I want to go heal my relationship with food. I want to go down this path of intuitive eating. Like, it just felt so good to be like, ooh, like I could just like, when it's lunchtime, I could literally just go in my fridge and be like, what sounds good? And just eat something. Like, that just felt so good. Like, even for breakfast or for a snack of like, ooh, like you want some berries, like sure, have that. Like, there's no freaking rules. And yes, it feels scary sometimes to walk down the path that not many people have been on. But if you want to feel unstoppable, if you want to feel like a badass, if you want to do what most people don't do in this world, you have to be willing to walk down the path that is least traveled by. If you want to live a life that every other person lives, do what everyone else is doing. I don't want that, actually. And you probably have known in your heart that you're different, that you're actually not like most people. Like, sometimes you're having conversations with somebody and you're like, I actually can't relate. People are constantly like, oh, this is so hard. It's challenging. I'm so tired, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, well, I can't really relate. And that's because you're unique, you're special, you're different. You think differently than most people. And so you're actually not meant to go down the path that everyone else is on. You're actually meant to create a path of your own. You're meant to be the leader. You're meant to go first. And it's very attractive when you go first. I remember this time, it was 2020. And at that point, I was eating intuitively for 2 years. And I remember I had somebody message me because I used to do health and fitness coaching. And I remember her messaging me and she was like, can you give me a plan with macros? Like, can you give me a meal plan with macros? And I said to her, I was like, no, I actually don't do that. And I actually don't believe in that anymore. Now, at the time, I did not believe in that anymore. Prior to that, I was giving people meal plans and macro plans and all the things. I was going down the path that every other coach was going on until I said, no, I'm going to create a path of my own. And I said, it doesn't matter if no one really understands or nobody gets it. Like, I get it. Like, this is the path that I'm meant to be on. And I remember at the time she was like, okay, like, that's fine. She wanted a meal plan with macros. Not too long after, she messages me and she joins my coaching program because she knew that she also did not need the macros and the meal plan. She actually needed to heal her relationship with food. And why I'm sharing this with you is because I went first. If I said, what do people want? What is everyone else doing? And I just went on the path that everyone else was on, I wouldn't have been the leader. I wouldn't have stood out. I wouldn't have been the one that it was able to support her in healing her relationship with food. So what path are you choosing? Are you choosing the path that everyone else is on, or are you choosing the path that literally nobody has walked yet? And again, it's sometimes scary. It sometimes doesn't make sense when you're walking down this path. And a lot of the times people want to know, but how? Like if there is a path and everyone's walking down it, you have advice from other people. Okay, well, what are you doing? What are you thinking? Da, 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 da. But when you're creating a path of your own, there's thoughts of, is this right? How am I going to do it? Is this the right thing to do? And you kind of feel lonely and isolated at times. But you have to go first. You have to be that leader. And you're not meant to be doing what everyone else is doing. You're meant to create a life of your own, even if it doesn't make logical sense. In 2018, Andrew and I opened up a fitness studio. Not too long after, I said, this is actually not for me anymore. I don't want to be a personal trainer. I don't want to be a health coach. I'm going to help people with their relationship with food. That did not make logical sense at all. I was literally crafting a path on my own. But I did that. When most people will join a, 21-day program, a short-term program, Everyone joins the less expensive options when it comes to coaching. I will message a coach and I'm like, what's your highest level package? I'm ready to pay in full. Not many people do that. Some people do that for sure. But I'm not like most people. You are not like most people. So are you doing what everyone else is doing, or are you creating a path of your own? And this comes down to every single area of your life, like career, right? Career, parenting, your relationship, even when it comes to relationships, screw the path that you're supposed to get engaged and then married and then move in together and then have who said that? Create a path of your own. Andrew and I did things completely backwards. Andrew and I were boyfriend and girlfriend. And instead of Andrew proposing to me, he gave my dad a proposal to start a business together. We were boyfriend and girlfriend. We had a fitness studio. People would come into the studio and they're like, oh, it's so nice to see a married couple, growing a business together. I think that's fantastic. And we're like, we're not even engaged. We're actually just boyfriend and girlfriend. People thought we were absolutely crazy. They're like, boyfriend and girlfriend and you're starting a business? What? Yeah, because we don't do what most people do. That felt right for us at the time. And so we followed that. We created our own path. So what is your own path? You create the path and other people will follow. I took that path, going back to the whole intuitive eating thing. I took that path, and because I went first and I led the way, now this is actually a path that many people have traveled. I worked with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of clients, but I chose to go first, and I chose to pave the way, so to speak. I chose to put on my boots, so to speak, and walk down the stormy road and create the path. And now it's so much easier for my clients. I literally want you to just visualize this for a second. Think about a pathway, and the snow is literally so tall. Maybe it's up to your knees. And I was the one that did all the freaking trial and error of okay, how am I going to have less urges? How am I going to get rid of my binge eating? How am I going to stop thinking about food 24/7? How can I stop feeling guilty? And I was treading through this path, and it was, it was challenging. I did all the trial and error. I found out what works. And because I've walked that path, now there's footsteps for you to put your feet in. So now it's a little bit easier. Is it still challenging? Absolutely. But it's easier because there's a path for you to follow. There's a pathway. There's a blueprint. There's, okay, I can follow this path because Lorna's walked down it before. And it actually feels less scary because I know that she's gone through this process. She's come out on the other side, completely free with food, living her binge-free life, being the unstoppable badass. I want to follow that path. And it's so much easier. So I went first and people followed. And that's fantastic. Now, I actually followed somebody else's path. When I have coaches and mentors, I follow their path, but I also still follow my own path within their path. And this is also another important thing as well, too. Having a coach and mentor is not, I'm going to do every single thing that they say, and I need to be so perfect. And if Lorna says this, then I need to take it verbatim. I always say to my clients, discernment. You still need to check in with your body to see what feels best for you. You still have to create your own path, even when you're following my path. That's really, really important. So follow other people's paths, because I believe that if somebody is where you want to be, follow them. They're literally guiding you. You can collapse the amount of time that it takes for you to get there. You can get there so much more efficiently by following someone else's path. But then at the same time, within that path, create your own path. Create your own path. Be the one that goes first. Be the one that goes first in your family. Be the one that goes first in your friend group. Be the one that goes first. It's a really beautiful thing. You know, at first people will think like, oh, you're crazy. Like, I don't think you should do that. And then those are the people that are going to be like, okay, can you show me the way? I literally experienced this with that one client that came to me. At first she was like, no, I need the meal plan. I need the macros. And then she was like, okay, Lorna, how do you do this whole intuitive eating thing? People will think you're crazy for going down a path that is not paved yet. People will literally think you're crazy for going down the path that most people don't go down until they see your results, they see your happiness, they see the glow on your face. Welcome to glow up season. They see your happiness, they see your joy. They can feel your power, they can feel your transformation, and they cannot help but be like, okay, so tell me, what are you doing? Because whatever you're doing, it's working. So don't be afraid to take the path that's less traveled by. There might be fear. There might be doubts. And I don't know because none of my friends are doing this. None of my family members are doing it. But that's the point. That's the point. Most people will walk down the path that is already paved for them. Most people walk down the path that everyone else is walking. And that's why most people live a very similar life, very similar lifestyle. But I want you to create a path of your own and do what most people aren't willing to do. You know, some people will just go about their day, go about the life that they're living, still thinking about food with these crazy urges and just think it's normal. But not you. You're like, okay, I'm actually going to heal my relationship with food. I'm actually going to start that business. I'm actually going to heal. I'm actually going to love myself. I'm going to do what most people aren't willing to do. Because I want to live a life that I'm proud of. I want to live a life that's actually different than most people. I don't want to be like most people. You're safe to go down the path that you know is meant for you. Even if it doesn't make sense, even if no one else is doing it, even if your friends and family are like, you're crazy, I don't think you should be doing that. That's okay. Because one day there are going to be the people that are like, tell me how to do it. You go first. You go first, you go first, you go first, you go first. And that's how people also feel your glow. People don't follow people that do what everyone else is doing. People follow people that are like, there's something different about you. You know, clients started flocking to me because I was talking about rewiring your brain to stop binge eating. I wasn't like, here's a meal plan and here's how you're going to lose body fat. I was different. I'm like, I'm going to go first and I'm going to help people rewire their brain. And people started flocking to me because people are like, yeah, everyone else is, all the other personal trainers are talking about how to lose weight and weigh yourself and track your food. And I don't want to do that. So because I led myself first and I was different and I wasn't afraid to be the one that goes first, people started flocking to me. So don't be afraid to go first. Don't be afraid to do what most people aren't willing to do. Don't be afraid to be different. It's your birthright. It's the most beautiful thing to do what most people aren't willing to do. All right, badasses, it is glow up season. I hope you guys are enjoying all of these episodes. Be sure to join the Facebook group down below in the show notes. I'm doing exclusive live podcast recordings in my Facebook group as well too. So you can catch me live for some of these special podcast recordings. But it's glow up season. Be sure to listen to every single podcast episode. And if you're loving glow up season, message me on my Instagram. Let me know that you are taking part of glow up season. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll catch you inside of the next episode.